The boy and the other young one got along well. Very well, in fact. You could tell both only children had craved a sibling their whole lives without knowing it. That they were the only of their kind of their age that they knew, well, that cemented something in them. They tasked themselves with knowing and exploring every trail and walking distance of the house. Curiously, Leona and even Balkis would accompany them, at least for a while, at least until they ran out of blue cheese and sardines. It was sweet, and yet Neto was listless again. Not so bad as last time, but he kept beginning paintings and abandoning them. Rarely went out to walk with us. I'll admit that looking what he was working on perplexed me a little as well. A departure in style, it would seem, but clumsier than I'd seen from him before. I couldn't tell if something had happened to him, to his creativity, or if he was struggling to accomplish a new style. I didn't feel comfortable asking him, and he didn't seem open. He seemed closed, as Agatha used to say to me when I wasn't receiving her messages. Still, he enjoyed dinner with us, even drank a little wine, which the lads, the youngsters, had a habit of spending my cash on the most expensive French bottle they could find at market. Had a note to remind myself when we're to run out of cash. I noticed an art collector in the village. At first, I was tempted to sell her something of Neto's, but I quickly squelched that idea as I interrupted Neto putting his fist through a canvas.
Oh, Harry, I thought I'd close the door. It was a bad canvas. I'm fine. Just starting again.
With Simon and Brea on their evening walk with the critters, later I interrupted Neto before he was off to return to his room, to his makeshift studio. Talk?
Sure.
We sat on the second-floor patio, where overlooking the slope towards the northwest we could faintly see the colors of the setting sun. I spied a blackbird and figured it might be Leona. So, what do you think?
About what, Harry?
Anything. You're closed off these days. The youngsters are too absorbed in their budding platonic love affair to truly notice. I know a lot has happened. I don't need for us to make any kinds of decisions, but your sister, she's still somewhere.
I'm sorry, Harry. I haven't spoken of it because I have been trying to work it out. The painting I told you about with Dracunin and the man, Chang, it did something to me, and it took me a while to remember, but I think I saw a way through that. Only what I'm afraid of is it had to do with Dracunin.
So we find him. He's a human being, more or less, like we all. We don't trust him, but the enemy of our enemy.
Yes, I would perhaps need to speak to him alone. I'll admit it is difficult to speak of.
I believe that. I suppose I felt it a little with Simon and the technology, but probably not the same thing.
I suppose it was
a violation.
Yes. And yet I do not regret it. That's the sickness that is plaguing me.
Are you okay on art supplies?
Yes, fine, Harry, thanks. It did help to talk a little, thanks.
And what of Brea? Is that upsetting?
A little at first, sure, but in a way her presence has always been around me all the same. It is more of a relief in a way that she still exists in this world, however passingly. And it is nice to have someone who has been touched by her in a way, not like Dracunin, not like Agatha either. I can tell she is weak. And I can feel compassion having met the originator, you know? The family tree is more complete.
Sure. I'm envious a little. But I'm glad it isn't that. It feels lovely not to have to worry about the boy so much.
He is pretty good at his own self-preservation, Harry. I wouldn't worry about him.
So was Agatha.
So is Agatha, Harry. We must keep that in mind.
How can you tell she is weak?
Who? Oh, her. Perhaps I cannot. Perhaps I meant, not as evil. And I'm equating that with strength. You're right.
Only curious.
Like magic, that night I dreamt very lucidly. I thought this was the gift of talking to Harry, of talking to someone I felt grounded with. I was a visitor, both there and not there. I felt like I was in the other place where Agatha was, but but unmistakably I was in Baba's house like I'd never left it. I've never left it, no, I said out loud in the dream while knowing that no one could hear my voice. The fire was burning just barely. There was nothing cooking and Baba was not there, but I could move about like floating on air. And I found her bookshelf, her grimoire, and I looked inside, but the pages would not focus. And just then I heard something that made me drop the book. The child was in the corner, his nose to the corner of the wall, a clear image of shame. It was Dracunin, it must be. And yet there was a clear line dividing us, on the floor a thin mote of flame. And when I looked down, I saw not Baba's floor, but the countryside, there below. I saw a familiar friend, a little knight from the tapestry from the museum. He acknowledged me somehow, raising his lance before charging into battle. A battle too horrifying, it made me look back up. Dracunin, a child and not a child, was there. I thought I heard him whimper, almost like a fox would. In my mind, I drew a symbol on his back of thin, healing fire. It was the circle the boy had drawn on my hand, split by a few lines. It calmed him a little, but still he faced the wall. I was here, but not here. What a shame, I said. And in an instant we were in the neon strip club, empty. The stage and house lights were all out, but it was unmistakably what I'd imagined from before. There were neon lights, and they were beautiful. One had the shape of Lucy, dancing there like a ballerina. A door to the kitchen with a round window swung open and closed, open and closed. This time I could feel my body. I could feel that I was there. I remembered what my body had gone through, the nails in my back, the pleasure and the pain, concentrated, the rush. I expected to find Dracunin in the kitchen, but he was not there. I walked around the empty stainless steel island once, and then again, and then again. It felt like countless times, like I was lost or wanting to be lost. It's most likely breakfast soon. From grief and shame and confusion to lust, my body was the strip club, the lights were off, and yet Lucy, how he inhabited me, our shared lust, and then he was just there, and I returned to a more placid need to fill my belly. Leona cawed. She skittered on the stainless steel table, having trouble staying up. I cradled her in my hands, and as soon as I did, she was the little dragon, only asleep. On its back, the sign scorched into it that I had put on Dracunin. Little dragon, Drake, Dracunin, Dracula, all, to become the one true dragon. But I have commanded dragons. I should be afraid of sorcery. All good sorcerers should be. And then I awoke. I woke up with that number in mind. The ninth taste? I couldn't remember what that was. Which was a relief. Not that I ever was really that good about memorizing them. Not since I understood that my grandfather wouldn't remember them himself. Though I suppose he had the excuse. He had every excuse in the book. Brea had gotten up early again to go running along the trails, something I tried but couldn't really keep up with him. Neto must be in his room painting or something. Harry made me coffee and then went to market with Leona on his shoulder. Balkus I didn't see. I lathered some rye bread with rhubarb jam, ate it. Then made 2 more and finished my coffee before I started to remember my dreams. Remember why there was a pit in my stomach, a hollowness in my heart that was disturbing somehow. In my dreams, I'd been in my grandfather's study. Though not my grandfather's study, a ship. At least it swayed. 9. What is that? I sat on the tower deck and wished I had my vape. Overhead, the clouds were parting. It looked like it was going to be a warm day.
No dreams, but I awoke far sweatier than usual. It hadn't been warm, as if it could in my room far across the way from the common fireplace, had I dreamt of something fearful. If I can recall, last night I went to bed a little worried for Neto, protective, unable to protect him. It had always frustrated me that my magic lay purely in my strength and my endurance, distanced me in a way, something I envied as well. Sheep, they went running. Coffee?
Please. You? Plans?
Market. We need blue. Do you want something different than pasta?
Oh, please yourself. Thanks.
Good, I'm off then. Balkus sprung on my back to surprise me as I exited. Leona had been about to land. Are you two coming with then? The sky seemed to be clearing. We'd had intermittent rain for the last week. There, I spotted Brea. They were running along a ridge a half-mile off. My sight still was pretty good. Their powers seemingly had to do with location, although it was still hazy to them. They found Netto by some kind of astral projection, intuitive it would seem, and only discovered it after encountering Netto in the flesh in Glasgow. Before that, they thought their main ability was eating junk food, which made us all laugh. No wonder Simon hit it off so fast with Brea, though these days it was mostly wine, which I didn't mind. Anger. Oh, rage. It lay like the dark clouds, receding, approaching, always hovering in the back of my mind. The uselessness of it, and yet stored away. But I had no one to direct it. But I had no one in this life, not Dracunin. That was not my fight. The originator, he was there and then gone. He felt like an abstraction, as real as that wolf felt. Anger unfocused focuses back on itself, challenges its own existence. How welcome drink was to dissipating that belligerent feeling. It embraced the lunacy of rage, the childishness, yes. How I was seeking that childish feeling. How akin it was to love, to that feeling felt with that woman near Central Park. An abandon, surrender. Leona and Balkus drifted off. They usually did when I came nearer to the road. The feel of the pavement on the sole of my foot was challenging. This was modernity, complete and concrete, and I was still a mess. A pirate without a ship, lost in a time that honored regulation over adventuresome spirits. There was a fire in the distance. A smokestack, perhaps.
I stayed in bed for a long while, staring at the ceiling, at the corner moldings, at every little crack, at the little spider web that dangled sadly without guidance, without inspiration. I heard Simon and Harry talking and then Harry leaving. I looked at my latest canvas. Art. Or something else. How long it has taken me to realize that creativity, that art, was simply a way to love myself, and that love takes understanding. I sighed. I had drunk blood. No wonder I could not paint as I usually did. Still, I could see it in the distance. How if Dracunin hadn't interfered, how I could have entered, how I could have gone into the other place and found Agatha. Perhaps I could still, but it was not through the same way. I knew that way was blocked. You don't want to say it, said the voices, but we will. You must bring Dracunin with you, else I could die. But then Dracunin had said that if he kills the originator, then he dies as well, did he not? Why would he do such a thing? The voices had no answer for this. So, I must talk to him. Talk, said the voices. What are you so afraid of?
Don't you want to wait until the lads are back? They just went out for a shortish walk.
I want to get going. Leon and Balkus can accompany me to the road, but I need the time alone. I want to catch the next bus, and I think I just can.
All right. Aren't you taking your bunny bag? I haven't seen it around.
I gave it to someone who needed it. Don't worry, Harry. I'm not going to be doing anything stupid. I knew this particular New York City high-rise had lax security. When I stayed at the hostel, I noticed some youngsters watching some videos of some other youngsters breaking in and climbing onto ledges. I was calm as I made my way into the side door, absent of anything but the image of those youngsters, their zen-like appraisal of each step, the void beneath them. My fear of heights was still there, but that was the point. I climbed onto the ledge. I steadied myself. Not too soon. A moment, and the voices said, "Hello?" "Not now," I said. "It's not you I need." I waited a good while longer. One of my hands shook, yet the other was still. Only a bigger gust of wind made me feel fearful for the fall. Finally.
Netto, what are you doing?
"Hello, Dracunin? Were you going to keep me waiting long?"
What is going on? You're going to make me seize your body, are you?
If you could, you would have done it already, Dracunin. I knew this was the only way. You won't risk my resistance and have both of us topple over, isn't that right?
You're causing me stress. What do you want? Is this retribution?
I just want to talk. As two people, not inside my head, and never again inside my head. Agree to meet me by the Angel of Central Park, by Agatha's honor.
I'll agree if you get down.
That was a big gust just now, Dracunin. Don't question what nearly 1,000 years of life could do to make me lean just a little bit.
Fine, I'm further away. I agree. 1 hour, on Agatha's honor.
I'll admit being relieved when I stepped off and felt Dracunin leave my mind. The voices were merely nodding pensively. Perhaps they were impressed. As I rode the elevator down, I started to get butterflies again. Retribution. I couldn't say for sure I didn't want something like that. But then he would keep following me, and I wanted him to be free as much as I wanted my own. I could see now. The shark, the cycle of trauma. This was not Dracunin's powers, this was Dracunin himself. A trace of his presence on Lucy conveyed upon me. And I had caught it like a cold, and my mind had spun upon it repetitive thoughts, cycling thoughts, a total paralysis of the soul. Stop. Again. An emulsification, a purification. The only kind that mattered, painful, grinding, slow. It took the time it took. I did miss my bunny backpack. I missed walking with it. I saw someone smoking. The plume was feathery like a brushstroke of paint. I went into a cafe that was still open to pass the time. I dipped a croissant into a coffee until it was soggy and then ate the side I hadn't dipped. I was not thinking much, only feeling. Feeling grief. The image of the boy against the wall kept coming to me. So I tried my hand at forgiveness. There are no corners in a curved house. There were only a few stray tourists by the fountain. I looked up at the angel. Better that they believe in them than us. Surely their belief had caused their extinction. I'm sure they'd have preferred to have done their work unnoticed. Silly thoughts. The light of the hour was golden, and Dracunin spoke with just the slightest bit of trepidation.
You could have waited quite a while, you know. Were you prepared for that?
Yes, we all know you're very busy, Dracunin. Very important. Spare me.
Well, Netavicius. Quite the change. Perhaps I shouldn't have so much regret about what we did. I like this demeanor of yours, very sexy.
I'm not here for retribution, Dracunin.
Explanations, then.
That's up to you. I want a truce.
Come, we're not at war. I simply had a bit of fun.
Disturbing kind of fun, Dracunin.
You think I could have inhabited you if you didn't want it?
Spoken like, what I want is irrelevant, Dracunin. Did you want to enter her house that day?
Please, our experiences aren't alike. I'm sorry. There. I shouldn't have.
You know about Chang?
Yes. Only later. Curious. Proof that technology works, you think? Belatedly?
I hardly think it matters. He's your mess, though.
Really? And what about you? Your art experimentation? Could it be that your artistic soul is darker than you thought? Artists always act so innocent, so entitled, excused of the rest of us.
We pay for it, Dracunin. I don't know what artists you've been frequenting, but our innocence is only a creative requirement, not a lack of culpability. Perhaps you feel an excess of shame. He did not know what to say to that. Careful, said the voices, but they were encouraging me. I want you to come with me to Scotland. That is where we are. Harry, Simon, and another. I'm not sure where we will go from there, but I think I can find a way to the other place. Only I need your help, I think. I do not know, so I'm trusting you again, because I know you can't help yourself.
Have me pegged, do. Your forgiveness is disingenuous, Netto. I liked it better when you let me have it.
It's up to you. I'm not sure, actually. Perhaps this is not a good idea. If you could, I'm asking you, no more. Stay out of my mind. I am sorry, for my part. I judged you without knowing you. You were treated unfairly. I am sorry. In an instant, both of our gazes met, like two angry flames, like two fallen angels, and had some passing regret that I could not just hit him. How it would feel, how human, how dramatic, how nice it would be to see his handsome face submerged submissively below the angel, above in the fountain, wet and humiliated. I was anxious to return. New York felt empty without friends to enjoy it with. It felt like being at the theme park. I took a long cab ride. The cab driver said a few things, but my silence was thick. It felt sad, and it felt pitiable to shut out this human being whose life would be like a blip compared to mine. But I was sick of hearing words unconnected to the pain inhabited by those who spoke them. He was waiting for me as I got out.
Am I to humble myself further than my circumstance? Don't worry. I'm no longer in your head. I just figured where you'd be. My driver just got me here.
So, what do you ask of me? I ask only that you try. It's not my problem if you cannot. I'm not even sure if it matters. I'm going in this blind.
Fine. I have a plane waiting.
I have expected for Parker to be in the plane, but he was not. Somehow he had gotten possession of it again. I didn't know how, or perhaps Dracunin had in exchange for who knows. This was my problem. Agatha would take all that was happening and let it inform her plot, but I was suspicious of reality and sought only to try to understand what was happening inside me, and now, perhaps inside others. I can't tell you why or how, but as we rose into the sky, I saw Dracunin for what he was, and I saw myself for what I was as well. Orphans, both. We all. Completely lost and acting like we didn't need the kind of love that a parent would provide, so proud, so dedicated to prove to the world that we didn't need a thing from it, but we did. Dracunin desperately, me just as much. Dracunin looked out the porthole, and there I saw him subtly like I'd never seen before. I saw him age himself down just a few years, like a chameleon shedding his disguise. And as he did, I met it by aging myself up, just a touch. Just enough. My mistake had been in rushing the process, but I was maturing, and as I did so, as my stomach dropped with the rising elevation, I again cried, like clockwork. And had Dracunin been closer in his seat, I may have hidden it, but I did more than cry. I silently almost sobbed. How much we compare each other's traumas, but it is like comparing constellations in the sky. They are all but punctured light in a tapestry of unfathomable dark. The primum materia, I could see it now. See its potential. See the humble insignificance of the light, and yet we were the light. It was all we had. And life was our only chance at making use of it. Dracunin and I didn't speak a word the whole flight. Barely exchanged a look. But his silence felt oddly like a penance. I could feel him thinking, reducing himself in size, in a way that satisfied what I wanted from him, for him to release his fear of death, of ego death more like. I couldn't reconcile what he did to me, so I just tried not to think about it when it came up. It was his burden, not mine.
Oh,
said Brea as she met Dracunin's gaze. The recognition was immediate. Of course, Harry would not warn her. There was something too intimate about the vampire's origin to reveal it beforehand for another. Dracunin was suitably floored, but it only seemed to strengthen his resolve to stay. He barely spoke to us, looked pitiably vulnerable.
Just going to walk a little, be alone.
He said to me, leaving us that evening to have dinner together. There was quite a windstorm, and my mind strayed at the thought of Dracunin out there on some highland cliff, confronting the elements and himself. But inside, I can't say what we did or did not discuss. Only 4 immortal vampires. One almost 1,000, one several centuries less, and 2 barely recognizable even as mortal adults. And yes, I'd almost forgotten. 2 very old vampires as a crow and Maine Coon cat, huddled by firelight. But together we kept company, delicious company. Together only as orphans could.